Good afternoon, it is 4:30 on Friday the 16th of August. I'm just heading off out now. Should have started a couple of hours ago, but I was spending some time with the family. They've gone away for the weekend, which means I can do longer shifts really, tonight, Saturday and Sunday. See if that makes any difference from last week. And that's pretty much everything. Slightly delayed as well. I was trying to record like a little bit of an intro really to go with these videos, so if you are watching this and the intro is on there, then this is when I recorded it just before I went out on this shift. So I'm hoping to start getting them uploaded at the weekend, and I shall try and keep you posted shortly. Oh, so update time, it is 7 o'clock and it's been rubbish. So when I set off before, I felt like the app wasn't really working. I was kind of like driving round. I headed towards Ormskirk and it just wasn't really working, and then like I was getting offered a job, it'd pop up, but then it'd just say like connection or something. So I tried logging out and back in again, but basically I didn't do a great deal. I mean, I started at 4:30 and I got my first job at 5 o'clock, and that first job was, well, it came up and said 42 or 43 pound. I think it was going from Skelmersdale to Liverpool, so I thought, oh, it's not too bad. Just after he booked it, it was like 5:10. He then sent me a message straight away saying, can you do me a favour and pick me up at 6 o'clock? I said, I can't pick it up at 6. I said, I'm going to be there in 10 minutes. Obviously I've had to pull over to message him back. So he said, well, when I was booking it on the app, Uber said you'll arrive at 6, so I booked you. It was then updated and it told me you'll be here in 10 minutes. So I said, oh well, I said, if you're not going to be ready, then you'll just have to cancel it. So he cancelled it, so I got £5 for the cancellation. Straight after that, it's as though, because I was slowly making my way towards Wigan, and then it's as though like they sit there in the Uber control room and they must be laughing, thinking, oh, Paul's leaving Ormskirk, he's nearly at Wigan, quick, let's send him back. So then I got an Uber X job, Ormskirk to Ormskirk, £6.59 for 0.8 of a mile, but I probably ran a good 2 miles to it, to be fair. As I was dropping him off, it popped up on the screen and all I seen was £34 something, so I just clicked accept, because the amount of jobs that come up, and before I've even read it, someone else has basically like snatched it. So I booked it, but I don't know, after you've booked it, how you can then find out where that job is actually going. So it was only like 500 metres away from where I dropped the other guy off. It was at Ormskirk train station. So I pulled up, the lady climbed in, I started the job, and I was going to Blackburn. So it was like a 35-mile job which took 40 minutes, and I got paid £34.64 for it. So I was fuming, to be honest. So I done that, and then I thought, alright, I'm going to start making my way back, because I'm up in Blackburn, got no idea what goes on up here. But then I was given an XL job as soon as I dropped that lady off, £13.37 for 5 miles, which wasn't too bad because it was just a pickup, jumped straight back on the M65, and then it was down like 2 junctions, dropped them off at a restaurant. And then just as they got out, I was then given another XL job, back on the M65, go down 1 junction, pick these group of lads up, 6 of them, the biggest lads you've ever seen in your life. Even they said, are we all going to fit in there? So they got in anyway, and that was a £20.43 job for 7.1 miles, and they gave me a £5 tip as well. So after that I thought, I'm going to have to come and charge up now, because I don't know if you haven't been on the M65, it's like driving up a cliff, and EVs don't like driving up cliffs. So I had about 30 or 40 miles left, so I thought I'll charge up now at one of these EV points, because they seem to be kind of the cheapest ones around. I mean, it's still like 65p, but it's better than some of the others. I was at one the other day, I think they wanted like 80p a kilowatt. So I'm just getting the top up here, and then I think I'll set my destination for more like back towards like Southport, and see if I can get jobs either from like Wigan or Ormskirk and whatnot, because that seems to be a lot better for me, getting like £15–20 jobs all the way out here in the sticks. It's not for me. So anyway, up to now I'm on £80 and 3p for 2.5 hours, so it's like almost like £32 an hour, which isn't too bad when you look at it like that. But what can kind of make or break that now is obviously the drive back, because for example, if I drive back now to, let's just put Ormskirk in, it is 40 minutes or 35 miles away. So unless I get a couple of jobs and kind of hop back doing that, you know, potentially I'm going to drive back empty 35 miles to get in and around, you know, Ormskirk or Wigan way or whatnot. So I'm going to have something to eat. There's also this little place I pulled up in, Greg's, Subway, KFC. Yes, I'll have something to eat, and then I will give you an update. Yeah, I will catch you in a bit. Final update, it is now midnight. It's been a bit of a rubbish night, to be honest. In the end I give up and came home. I'd had enough. So when we last spoke, that was at where are we? 7 o'clock. So after that last drop, I drove over to go on, that was in Blackburn, so I went to the services to charge up. That was 7, and I stayed there for an hour. So I charged up, had something to eat and like stretch my legs and whatnot, and then I started again at 8 o'clock, and then I set my destination for Southport. And the reason being, I just wanted any jobs really kind of on the way, so whether, you know, that was through Preston, Leyland, yeah, you know, like Banks kind of area, Wigan, anything, just anything over in that general direction. So bearing in mind, to drive from there back to Southport was nearly an hour, and I got offered one job which I'd done. I just had to come off the motorway, £9 7p for 5.4 miles, which was basically Chorley to Chorley, and then jump back on the motorway, and then carried on. That was at 8:20, so I probably finished that job at about 8:30, and then drove all the way into Southport because I had my I had the Uber app set to Southport. Didn't get a job all that way. Got onto Lord Street, I seen all the taxis all parked up, so I thought, oh, it's obviously really quiet. Started heading out of Southport, heading towards Ormskirk. I wasn't far off Ormskirk, and then I was given a job for Bearscough, to kind of in the middle of it was almost like a Bearscough to Bearscough. So I done that, but that was at 11:30. So basically between when I done that Chorley job, which I finished about 8:30, I didn't get offered a single job for an hour, even though I drove for an hour. It makes no sense. It's last Friday compared to this Friday is completely different. It was as though like last Friday, because that was my first night, I was just being offered jobs one after the other. It was constant for the whole night, whereas tonight it's just been dire, to be honest. So I've done that job, which was 11:39 for 5.1 miles, but I probably ran a good 4 or 5 miles for the job, so it was almost £1 a mile, if I'm being honest. Straight after that I had an Uber X, but they cancelled straight away, so I didn't get anything for it. I was then, once I dropped them off, I then got another job back in Bearscough. This time it was going back to Southport, would you believe? So I took it because it was nearly 10 o'clock at night and I hadn't had a job for ages. So that was £16.51 for 9.4 miles. But then I had to run probably 2 or 3 miles back to Bearscough to get them, so it was probably about £1.50 a mile. So I ran then back to Southport. So I've basically done a big massive loop. I've gone from Banks to Southport to Ormskirk to Bearscough, back to Southport again. Just like a lot of like dead miles. Then had another customer cancelled. I didn't get anything. And then I was in Southport. I thought, like, I've had enough. I think I'm going to head home. And then a job popped up for £25 at the time, and it was Formby to Prescott. Now I probably had to run, I'd say, a good 5 miles for it, and it was a 20-mile job. So again, I thought, it's 25 quid for 25 miles. I thought, but I'm not being offered anything else. So I thought, right, okay, I'll do that. So I went to pick them up from Formby Golf Hotel and Spa. Really nice place. They had a big works too. Picked up 2 people from there, and then he then changed he added another stop. So it was Heighton and Prescott. So I tipped in Heighton first and then carried on to Prescott. That was then increased, the job, and I got £32.27 for it. So that was with a £2 tip on top. So it was like 25 miles, so I don't know, I had a rough guess, it was probably like another £1.50 a mile, £1.60 a mile in the end. So I was then in Prescott, and I thought, I can either now go to Maghull services and charge back up, but then I thought, well, it's been dire, so what's the point me charging up, because then it's going to be about midnight or 12:30, and for what? So just as I was supposed to get on the motorway, there was a guy who was literally 100 yards away who was going 1 mile for £4.10p. So I picked him up, dropped him off, and then jumped back on the motorway, stopped off, picked some food up and come home for midnight. I did get offered a really ridiculous job, and it popped up twice. I took a screenshot of it because it was that ridiculous. So bearing in mind, I was basically Prescott. I think I was actually on the 57 heading towards Switch Island, and an Uber XL job popped up for £11.73, but they wanted me to drive for 24 minutes or 19.6 miles to Warrington to do a 4.2 mile trip. So they wanted me to do 24 miles for £11.73. It was like, what, like, why is that even being offered to me? Like, who is going to do that? So I ignored it. That was £11.73, and then I carried on down. I was almost at Switch Island, and the same job popped up again, but this time, instead of offering me £11.73, they dropped the price to £11.60. So yeah, I obviously ignored that, and just come home. So it's like, for today I've made £151, and I've done 7.5 hours. So it works out at £20.18 an hour. So I know it's, you know, still half decent, but you know, I've done, let's look at the miles, I've done 194 miles. So I know one of them tanks was obviously home charge, but then I had a little bit of a top up as well on a fast charge when I was out. So I just feel like this Friday I've done almost twice the miles that I'd done last Friday, and this Friday I think, what did I say, I've made 151. I think last Friday you know, when I was just clicking anything willy-nilly because it was my first shift, I think I got like 210 and I'd done less hours. So either Uber's fallen out with me or the honeymoon period is over, but from what I've heard, you're supposed to get like a good month or two honeymoon period for new drivers, whereas I don't know, I thought Fridays were supposed to be really busy, and I've been everywhere today. You know, I've been to near Skem, Ormskirk, Bearskull, you know, I've been all past Preston, Southport, I've been loads of places. But yeah, it just hasn't been the greatest. I mean, granted, for the hour in between, because you know some drivers do go home during the shift for half an hour or an hour to have something to eat, whereas I went to the services to charge up, so you could deduct that hour if you wanted to, which would mean I've worked 6.5 hours, which would then take my hourly rate up to £23.28. It depends how you see it. I kind of see it as, well, even though I was on a break, but you know, a lot of jobs that you have pay for your dinner break, don't they? So I'd like to be paid, so I see it as £20.18 for 7.5. Or if you're like one of them drivers that go home, then you wouldn't see it as you work that hour because you were sat at home, so in which case you would be on £23.28. So yeah, a little bit disappointed, but I don't know, it is what it is. I didn't want to, I've kind of learned from my mistake. I think the other day I charged back up around midnight and I thought, oh, I'll stay out, and then it was just completely dead, so I just wasted my time. So I've kind of learned that you get a feeling for when it's drying up, just call that a night. I mean, you can stay out and get drips and drabs, but I couldn't be bothered because I've been messed about for the past couple of hours and hardly got any jobs. I just decided to come home. So that's it for tonight. I'll be out tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I'm going to come out on Saturday. I might come out and do more of a day shift than a night shift, to be honest. I might come out and do like a midday till midnight 12-hour shift, because from what I've been doing throughout the week, I know it's hard to judge because it's the summer holidays, but I've been averaging probably £20-21 an hour during the day. You know, and you're going out at night dealing with a different type of people, you know, Friday, Saturday night, for the extra £2 an hour, maybe £3 an hour. Is it worth it? I don't know. So yeah, I think tomorrow I'm going to aim for about 12, and then I might catch both. I might catch some of the peak during the day, Saturday day, and going into the night, people going out, and try and judge it from there. So I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, if I get a chance tomorrow, I'm going to start doing some editing. I've done a little video today, so to try and do a little bit of an intro. So hopefully I can throw that together tomorrow and start trying to get the videos uploaded, because I've got 7 days worth now. So yeah, if anybody is watching, hopefully you'll tune in for the next instalment, and I'll catch you then. Thanks for watching.